Cam, man, I appreciate you being here. It's been a long time coming, I believe, and we haven't reconnected and chatted at length in a very long time. But I kind of just want to start with let the people know who you are, a little bit about your background, how we got here, maybe how we met, and kind of why you're in the health and wellness space, dude, and what do you do?
What's going on, man? So, James, good to see you. I appreciate you having me on here. I'm always grateful for any opportunity to connect and build a relationship. So, it's good to be here. I would say, I guess, what got me into health and fitness. There's a lot. There's a lot to it. So, I'll start with how I grew up. All right. So, when I was first starting out as a kid, my dad was very adamant about being hard on me and making me work hard and just being on top of things in sports and not quitting and just he was just on my ass, put it very simple, about being a man at a young age, I would kind of say. um, my mom was very she was like the protector, like make sure that I stayed different. Like she always wanted me to understand that I had the ability to be different, not following the path that everybody else is going, just kind of do my own thing. And a lot of that comes from like just the little things that we did in life. Like she would be cooking, she'd be eating healthy, and she would be kind of putting that on me, like allowing me to see it at a young age. And then not only that, I would be cooking as well. Like she'd be like, Cameron, you want to come in here and cook? Or she allowed me and both my brothers. I've got two older brothers, so they also had an influence on me in the health and fitness area too, because I got picked on by them my whole life. So I was a young, small, real small dude. I was tiny growing up. My brothers were huge. They're like 6'4" now. I didn't get the tall genes. I don't know where that happened, but I didn't catch that. So I always had to kind of work harder, man, just to feel like I guess I don't know, maybe belong to be a bigger guy. I don't know. It was something that I struggled with maybe coming up early on in life, just being the smallest. I was the youngest. My birthday was August 19th, so the cutoff was the 31st in the grade. So not only was I like the smallest in the grade, but I was the youngest in the grade. So I always everybody was growing up faster than I was, maturing quicker than I was, and just certain things like that. All those little things you start thinking about, they kind of tie into all of it. Why I started working out, why I pushed harder, kind of just certain little things that kind of tied into who I am today. But yeah, man, it's just a lot of family background, I would say, that got me to this point. Just leading up to all that, I would say it really started probably when I got into high school. Um, I played three sports going into like coming out of middle school. It's baseball, basketball, football. Well, then I started realizing I don't think I didn't make the team for baseball or basketball in middle school. So I was like, kind of cut my confidence a little. I'm like, damn, man, I'm too small. I'm not good enough. Like hurt my feelings a little bit back then. And then I'm like, I made the football team, and I was like, man, you know what? I just need to focus on one sport, kick it off from here. Maybe I'll be good at football and can roll with that. So heading into ninth grade through senior year, I started focusing a lot more on football. Um, my older brother, and he actually was very good at it. So I was always kind of following in his footsteps. He was the big macho, crush everybody, just really good at it. And, so I always had to, I felt like I had to push a little bit harder to try to fill his spot. It was kind of my mindset at the time because he had it and I had to work a lot harder for it. But just coming up through high school, man, just pushing hard, being the smallest, like I said. And then I think I would say about junior year, it really started kicking in. So junior year, they throw me into the cornerback position. I'm a starter for the first time. I was kind of just on the sidelines, just making things happen for the first 2 years, trying to fit in, whatever. And then junior year comes around, I'm starting, I'm kind of getting good. I'm like, all right, well, throw me into the mix. But I'm still tiny at this point. I'm like a buck 50, 5'9", I would say.
Sheesh. What do you weigh
Yeah,
right now?
I'm about 190 right now.
Still 5'9"?
5'10", gain an inch. Gain an inch, man.
5'10", 190.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so you said this is junior year?
Yeah, junior
So you're
year.
you're a buck 50, five
Yeah,
nine junior year.
yeah,
Okay, pick back
yeah,
up.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So then I'm playing cornerback, and these receivers, dude, I'm going up against D2, D1 receivers in this 5A football. And they're 6'1", 6'2", faster than I am. Just not having it, man. Just getting destroyed out there on deep balls. I was pretty good at stopping the run. I could come up, stop the run, short, quick passes. Good at stuff like that. But I was just starting to realize more and more going through junior year. I'm like, I've got to beef up and I've got to switch my position because these dudes are taller, faster, more athletic. Something's got to change. So from junior year going into senior year, I packed on about 20 pounds. Worked out heavily, man. I'd hit practice, go home from practice and work out. I was hitting 2 a days on top of being dead tired. It'd be like 9 o'clock at night. I'd come home, eat dinner with my family, work out. Like I was hitting stuff that, things now that like make you better in life. I was kind of picking up at an early age. I'm like, if I'm gonna be somebody, like I gotta start grinding a little bit harder right now. Cause it just goes back to that being small and trying to, you know, had the upper edge, I guess. But anyway, so yeah, I packed on about 20 pounds. I started getting really good towards the end of my senior year. And then kind of closing out high school, going into college, working out was something that just stuck with me because, like football, I had the ability to go play, but I kind of wanted to experience college life. I was getting, I don't know, man. I just really wanted to be with friends and, go to Athens where I met you and, hang out, explore, party, do all the things that you just want to experience something different. My whole life was sports. So I kind of wanted to get to Athens and start doing that and being out on my own and, just taking a different lifestyle approach. And
Yeah,
so,
no, that totally makes
um,
sense. Well, I hate to interrupt you real quick.
there you go.
How did you gain the 20 pounds? So you packed on 20 pounds of muscle. What was the time duration in that?
I would say that was probably a year. Um,
So over 12 months, you gained
yeah, I would
20?
say, yeah, 12 months. And, back then, man, it's not like now. I didn't pay attention to all the details. I just worked hard. Like I said, I hit the 2 days type deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then my brother was like, he was in the college football space. He played D1. And so he was like kind of relaying all the information down to me, like protein supplements, like creatine, pre
Mm-hmm.
workout. So I kind of started getting into the supplement space a little bit back then. And I gained about 20 pounds in a year doing that. Just, I was overloading, dude. I can't remember the what it was called back then. I wish I remembered the name of it because we loved it. Papa, well, he used to work out with me back then a lot, and me and him both, because he was kind of in the same boat that I was. We both just worked hard and tried to, pack on the lbs to kind of be in the starting spots in football. So
Yeah. So 20 pounds over a year. Was that kind of the first time that you had like a big shift in your physique? Was that like the first
100%,
initiation,
that was
you would
that
say?
was it. That was it, man. That was
So you gained the 20 and you have no, probably at this point, I mean, how old are you right now?
I'm 28.
Okay. So, I mean, like, why would you remember exactly what you did to gain that 20 pounds between
Right,
junior and
right.
senior year? But I guess let me ask this a different way then. If that was kind of your initiation into it, right? Into changing your physique intentionally, like if you had to go back knowing what you know right now, I mean, what would you do to gain that 20 pounds in a healthy way, natty, over a year? What would you do
God,
now?
now,
Yeah.
man, I would just focus exactly on what I'm eating. It's just all, I mean, I could go so deep into this right now. I'm
Run
like,
it, dude. That's
I'm
what we're
trying
here
to figure
for.
out.
Run
All
it.
right,
No, no,
I'm
no.
gonna make
Don't
sure
don't
I
don't
answer this
shallow it,
question.
dude.
Okay,
Let's not insult the intelligence of the individuals that are listening to this. Like they're ready for
okay,
it.
okay.
Smack it.
Right. All right. All right. So, right now things have changed completely for me over the past 2 years and how I've tackled natty, working out, health. I don't even want to say working out. Health to me.
Mm,
So for like going into college, like I said, like just working out, I was getting by, man. I was working out a few days a week. I loved working out. I liked being big. I like the confidence that you get with looking good and all that stuff. That still is in me, but I will really say today, to me it's more about my overall health. And I think the older that I get, the more you start understanding that. It's not, to me, it's not about like, I'm not trying to get big in college to go see everybody, make us put on a show, or like,
hmm
it's not about that to me anymore. Now it's about how I feel. What am I eating? How does it impact how I feel throughout the day? just the certain things that I'm putting in my body and how it overall makes me feel. And in turn, what that has done for me is it's making me look better on top of it because I'm making these wise decisions more based on how I feel versus how I look. Because I used to like, dude, I've ran stuff. I've been through cycles. I've done unnatural things. I've done pro hormones. I've done SARMs. I've tried out various things. And a lot of the times that I was doing those things, I was getting yoked. Don't get me wrong, stuff works, but my mental health was just like at all-time lows, depressed, like just lethargic, not feeling good mentally. Like all that stuff just started affecting me. So I'm like, I kind of just want to make a change, man. I was like, I want to continue to grind hard, do the right things, but now I want it to be more about how I feel, and like the longevity of how I feel and kind of giving myself time to not like, it used to be like, all right, in college, it's January, you got spring break in March. I'm like, I got 3 months to get fucking huge. Like, that was the goal. It's like, we got pool season rolling around. I'm trying to be big. Now it's like, I'm in no rush, man. I just want to feel good. I want to eat right. Like taking the cold showers, meditating, reading books, putting the phone down a little bit, just not being so caught up in, I guess, the looks of things and more about how I feel. That's kind of the where I'm at now. And me and you, I'm sure, can go a lot into this. So I'll
Yeah.
let you speak for a minute and see.
No, no,
I'll
no.
piggyback.
Yeah, you're all good. I did have a few like technical questions. So I mean on the lifting and the fuel in your body, right? Everything you're putting in your body, both physically and then also mentally, right? And then
Right.
also the weights that you're moving, the periodization that you're following, and kind of how your programming is going there. Number one, do you write your own programming?
I don't. There's times where I kind of sit down and plan it, but I'll tell you, and I'll tell you why. So planning for me, it can, and this can vary through so many people in so many different ways. But for me personally, when I plan, I do crush when I do that, but also I kind of like just not putting the stress of the plan on myself. Like I've done that before where I'll plan out my whole week and it's just like it adds extra stress to me that I don't necessarily want all the time. So I kind of just set maybe like a mental goal and I'll be like, hey, I need to crush like 5 workouts this week and I'll do it. I don't put the extra stress of like having to bullet points out. I mean,
Mhm.
so no, I don't necessarily write a plan. I kind of just go in it head on, know what I have to do, and I take care of it.
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. But you said that you're kind of like moving both with the eating and the working out based on how you feel, not how you're trying to look.
Right.
So is that like more performance? Are we like tracking performance metrics there? Or are we not really doing any kind of empirical breakdown of
Uh,
anything? Is it more so just like, hey man, my head feels good, my heart feels good, my lungs feel good, I'm being pushed, like this is a checkbox for me? Or is it more analytical?
I would say the looks do come back into play a part here because,
Mhm.
always you're trying to like physique is a lot of it. You always want
Yeah.
to look good. I mean, it's like, come on, man,
Everybody
that's
trying
what,
to look better naked now. Don't play.
right. Yeah.
Everybody trying to look better naked, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's just a overall confidence. You feel good. You want to feel
Mhm.
good about yourself. So, but yes, performance like eating and sleeping and the way you feel and all that definitely is performance. And I will say too, like I've played around with a lot of different foods, diets, kind of just to kind of see because I do believe that everybody's different. I think that not one diet works for somebody, and I'm not here to knock a diet, for instance, on anybody who chooses one thing over the
Mhm.
other. I don't really believe in all that. I kind of like I said, I kind of think it works best off how it does with your own body and like,
Mhm.
I just kind of think it's all based off of you and how it affects you. And I will say like the past month or so or two, I've been experiencing with that carnivore diet or the animal based diet. I'm sure you've seen
Okay.
me post
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Sean
Dude,
Baker and all those cats. Yeah, dude, they
yeah,
have some interesting content, man.
The
Talk to me
Paul,
about it. How's it been? How's it been?
dude. So I just want to say like like, and a lot of things are like placebo. Like you can kind of think things are working, and
A lot of
maybe it's
supplements too. Like you're just paying more attention a lot of the times. It's
right,
not necessarily like, oh wow, this is working for me. It's
right,
mentally working, and so we're like, all right, we might as well keep doing it because it's going to get us on the
right.
path more.
Yeah, you're like, I'm on something, and this
Yeah,
is working.
yeah.
But yeah, man, carnivore, dude, or animal based, I'll say, because I kind of followed the Paul Saladino, I believe his name is, the Carnivore MD on Instagram. So pretty much it's raw dairy. I'll do raw milk, and thankfully I live kind of in the country, so there's
Is that like
access.
kefir, like that
Yeah,
brand, like where it's
there's that.
or I don't know if it's pasteurized or unpasteurized, but it's a certain type of like non-traditional way of production
So
or
I've
of
done the
processing.
kefir.
Okay.
I've actually gotten that at like my local Ingles when I'll go grocery shopping. I can get that, but like this
Boy,
is
you
like,
got an Ingles out there? Well, I have
yeah,
not
man,
seen Ingles in
dude,
forever.
it is the spot, man. It's the spot.
Just like Randall's
Yeah.
out in Houston, dude.
Oh yeah.
Randall's. It's like another Kroger, dude.
Oh yeah. It is like, man, that is my spot, dude. But yeah, so I can find like the local kefir there, and they got great local meats too, dude. That's where I can find bone marrow there, liver,
Mhm.
all the good stuff in the meat section. Um, but yeah, so it's just like meat and organs, and then you got like, I'll do raw eggs, like pasteurized or whatever. I'll do the raw milk, raw butter, and then fruit, and then local raw honey, stuff like that. And dude, I'm just gonna say, like, straight up, the way that this has changed everything for me, for like, and I haven't even been as strict as I want to be. Like I still partake in drinking on the weekends and kind of eating a few meals here and there, just messing around. But like I would say Monday through Thursday, I'm very, very good about what I drink and eat. And I would say so, yeah, Monday through Thursday for, I don't know, maybe a month to 2 months of doing that. I have like really noticed a difference in the way I feel, the way I look, and the way I perform in the gym. And first, so like first with the way I feel, like my energy throughout the day is through the roof. I don't get that drag. My brain fog is not there. Like for instance, I sit in an office all day. I'm an accountant, and so
Dude, I
I
didn't
eat.
even know that. I did not
Yeah,
know you were in accounting. That's wild.
yeah, yeah. I know it's
Okay.
crazy. So I sit all day in an office for about 9 hours a day, right?
Hmm.
And I mean that's hard to do. Just sitting at a computer 9 hours a day and crunching numbers all day long. So I would say about like lunchtime, man, I start getting brain fog. And, it's just like
Hmm.
I'm very productive like the first few hours of the day. I start crushing. Then I'll hit that like 1 o'clock feeling. I'm like, just brain fog's rolling and it's just not working as well. And I will say I don't even really catch that anymore. I'll eat steak for lunch with some raw butter, with some raw milk and some fruit, and I'm like wound up again, like as if it was 9 o'clock and I just had coffee. I'm like, whoa, let's roll. Like I crushed the day. And then when I get out of the work, I'm like, I'm immediately like, get outside and get a workout in. I sit for 9 hours. It kills me. So I'm like, I gotta get up, get active, get a workout in. So after all that, in the gym, just the overall performance, I believe my strength has gone up, which is very hard to believe because when you're not eating a lot of carbs, it's kind of hard to push heavy weight. I don't know if you've ever experienced that personally, but for me, it's really affected me that way in the past. Doing anything low carb, I guess, because I'm only getting it from fruit. It, it's not really. I'm not getting a lot of carbs, so but
You're surely
just
not
to
getting
say that,
like a ton. Like you're not eating rice
right,
and even oats wouldn't be a good example, but you're not eating rice and potatoes and pasta and all that kind of
right,
stuff that most people eat,
right.
right?
So, just like the overall performance, like my stamina, the length that I can go in the gym, um, all of that, I've just noticed a huge increase in a positive way. And then the looks part of it, dude, obviously, waking up in the morning, like you're chiseled more than you normally would
Hmm.
be. But dude, I was waking up with like chiseled six packs, man. And I haven't been able to do that in so long. Like that's one thing I've struggled with the most, probably since I started like really getting into working out, was
Hmm.
the love handles and kind of a little bit of area in the stomach. And I work abs and stuff. It's not that I don't. It's sometimes that's like caused by stress and whatever else, it can affect you that way. But man, I was waking up lean, flat, straight up in the morning, like at night even, dude. I'd be weighing myself. When I was strictly doing that, I was like 179 pounds, man. Like cut down slim.
Yeah.
And I kind of got away from it. I started getting back in. I was kind of wanting to do a little bit more in the gym, so I started getting back to the white rice and the potatoes and certain other things. Just
Hmm.
my problem with diets is when you're, and this could just be me personally, but I feel like it is a lot this way across the board, is you get so caught up in making everything be perfect that you lose sight of the reason you did it in the first place. It's like you'll say, all right, so like for me, for this animal based thing, I'm like, I get 30 days to eat right. Like if I can't do that, like, something's wrong, right? Well, here I am, first weekend of August. I'm going to the lake. I'm drinking. I'm eating everything under the sun. It doesn't even matter at that point. I'm just having fun. And then I pay for it Monday, Tuesday because I'm working off what I did for the weekend. So but at the end of the day, man, I just felt like the way I improved a ton throughout the whole process of doing it. It wasn't about just the physical, but how I felt, everything just that came with it. So if you haven't tried it, man, I highly recommend just giving it a try. Maybe like 2 weeks, even if it's something short and simple. But I really enjoyed it. So
Yeah. Dude, I went to I went 4 days eating like Rogan did that like just straight steak and jalapenos.
tough.
Dude, would not recommend, man. You want your stomach to be upside
Gosh.
down because you're not used to it, and you're literally like, dude, can't go too far from the bathroom. Promise
Dude.
you.
I
Right?
saw it. I think I saw him say that something about like be prepared for diarrhea for like a straight week or something.
Yeah. And I did it for a few days and I was like, yo, I have so much energy, but all of it is spent in the bathroom, worshiping the porcelain gods. Like, what is that doing for me? You know what I mean?
Yeah, making you dehydrated, not even
Right. I'm
taking
just
everything
just
out of you.
flushing out all the liquids. So, what I wanted to ask, so like, would you say that, and about how long have you been more animal based like this, where you're talking about the more raw side of animal based?
Dude, and I'll talk about the raw, man. So, all right, so I did animal based, like like I said, Monday through Thursday, probably for 2 months.
Okay.
Let's say I've been doing it that way.
And so,
But, go
no, go ahead.
ahead.
No, you got it.
So like bone marrow, I got raw for the first time, and I actually enjoyed it, man. It was like I was like, this stuff's actually pretty good. And then I kind of got into cooking it. I like it better cooked, and I'll just kind of like throw it in the oven, 420 minutes. I'll do like some minced garlic. I'll rub both ends of it, kind of the meat side of it, because mine, I get like the little bones, not like the full open ones. I don't know if you've seen like the femur
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
opened up or whatever, but I'll just do like the little circular bones or whatever. Kind of minced garlic on both sides, do salt and pepper, throw it in the oven for 20 minutes on 400 or something, kind of bring it out. And dude, it's like, I like to use it almost like on my steak. Like it just
Like on
mixes in.
top.
Yeah, it's kind of like a buttery substance. It like falls into like butter almost. It's
Really? Because you're just basically baking the bone out.
yeah. I just so like yeah, I bake it
I've
and then
never prepared bone marrow ever.
dude, I did it for the first time. Like just not too long ago,
Solid.
and yeah, I'm telling you, man, I enjoyed it. You just kind of like I get like a knife and scoop it out, and it kind of just falls out at that point. But the liver is a different story, dude. Oh my gosh, that
Are you the
stuff is
liver king now?
no. Dude, I tried. I tried
Yeah.
it. I did it for 5 days straight. So what I did was I bought it from the store. Stuff's dirt cheap, man. It was like $2.50 for like
Well,
a
I
few
mean,
pounds.
mass market doesn't want it. They're like, I don't want to eat
Right,
this shit. Just give me the chicken
right.
breast, right?
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
give me the butt of the cow. Like I don't want all this.
Yeah. I did it, and like so the first day I got it, I chopped it up into like I would say 13 days of it. I made, I want to say like 3 pounds last 13 days. I chopped it up into maybe like two or three little bite-sized raw pieces, and I froze them. Each day I would put it out the night before in the fridge, kind of let it unthaw overnight, and I'd pack it for my lunch. So I'm over here in my accounting office with the door closed, eating bone marrow and raw liver. Like, please don't open the door.
Yeah,
Uh,
people be looking at you sideways. Like, hold on.
dude,
First of all, why are you eating that at all? And then why
yeah,
are you an accountant eating that? Because that doesn't seem on brand for anybody there.
yeah, the tatted up accountant's in there eating raw liver again. Like, good God.
Goodness. So you said something about your energy levels, right? With the being animal based, that you're not really having a crash, like you're not peaking valleying, like you kind of straight across.
Dude, yeah, I would just say it's like nonstop until you go to bed, man. That's
Got
just
it.
how it was for me. And the
And
raw liver too, like, dude. So it was terrible. Don't get me wrong. The first I did it for 5 days. That's all I
you
could do.
stopped. You're done. No more liver.
Yeah, I can't do the raw
Come on,
liver.
Cam. No more liver. Come
Yeah.
on.
Well, actually, I'll get back to. I actually bought some this week at the grocery store just in case I get the feeling. It's in the freezer, yeah, just in case I want to do it again. But
Bro, I got to do a prep video of that. You got to put it up on
uh,
Instagram.
I'm
Give us
telling
something to
you,
share, dude.
yeah, y'all will love that. I'm sure that beef or the dark beefy liver, whatever, man. But
Dude, literally the color of this red on this deodorant. You know what I mean? Like, goodness, it's
and the
like out
smell,
there.
oh my God.
Yeah.
My wife's like every time I get, she's like, "Don't get that." I'm like, "I
Don't
gotta
bring
get."
that in the house.
Yeah,
Put it on the
I'm
grill.
like,
Do not bring this in the
yeah, I'm
house.
like hiding it in the grocery cart under other meat just in case she's looking. Like, but man, yeah. So I like chopped it up, unfroze or whatever. So when I was eating it, man, I would just like throw it back almost like a shot. Like I could not chew it, dude. I put it in my mouth. I'm like, I tried chewing it, I couldn't chew it. So I just like almost swallowed it whole, 3 pieces. And I will say, so I take the supplements too. I'll do like I have a few different supplements. I'll talk about those. But so the raw liver itself, dude, you want to talk about like an energy boost? I think it took like maybe 30 minutes. And like you said, it could be like placebo, like we were talking earlier. But I don't know, man. For like 5 days, I was doing it, and I felt one of the best that I've ever felt in my life off of it. And I'm not even making it up, man. It
Shit.
was crazy. I felt so good off of it. And that's why I went and got it again. Like the taste was so bad that I was like, I think at the very last day, I
Describe
was
the
like,
taste.
dude,
Describe the
just
taste.
God, I don't even know how. The worst thing I've ever had. 0 out of
Really?
10.
The worst
Yes,
thing.
ever.
Oh, I'm gonna have to do a video eating liver, eating organs, and see what's up.
Dude,
Do you like? Are you supposed to like not saute them, but are you supposed to like season them with anything or like dip them in
dude.
something or?
And you know, like I was reading into that, I was like, obviously raw is the most beneficial, but you're not really losing much when you cook it. So then I tried on the last day to cook it, right? So I think it was like day 5 or 6. I'm like, I start cooking it, right? I do it with onions. I'm following like some Google recipe. I'm like, let me just sear it, do it with onions and garlic, salt, and pepper, just like the basics, just to kind of bring out some flavor. Dude, it was worse. It did me in. That was it. Like the texture of it was just so bad, man.
Plug your
I couldn't
nose,
take
throw it
anymore.
back, and be done with it, huh?
Oh my God. I like mixed it in with my steak almost where like I couldn't even know like what I was stabbing. I'm like, let me
Yeah.
just grab a bite and eat it like it's normal.
Mm,
Didn't work at all. Did not work.
yeah, that's interesting. Well, I mean, through all this, what's your caffeine intake look like just overall daily? Do you know?
Daily is 200 milligrams.
That's it across the
That's
board?
it. Yep.
Oh, you're a
I
better
do.
man than I am, dude. I'm an
Yeah.
abuser. Yep. I am
Yeah.
a caffeine addict. Absolutely. For
How
sure.
much how much are you taking
I
in?
don't even think I should say this on the podcast, dude. I like in the morning, I'll probably like I'm up at like if I'm coaching in the morning, right? I'm up at like 4:05, and I listen to Huberman. I don't drink caffeine for 2 hours for 120 minutes.
Yes. Great guy.
But by 6, dude, from like 6 to 9, I might have 4 cups
Yeah. That's
or
up
like
there.
a double or triple espresso, like
Yeah.
twice, and just
So
be
you're
like
you're raw.
running,
So you're
right?
rolling.
Yeah, I'll stop at like 5 or 6 p.m. I won't really drink it after that because it'll mess up my sleep. But I was just curious, were you finding that your energy was up? And obviously it's anecdotal. So registered dietitians and all these other people that are in health and wellness, like don't come for anybody's throat. Like we're just talking about your experience here with on the raw side and the liver and what have you here. But I was curious about what your caffeine intake looked like, because if you were saying that you're having a higher energy level across the day and you're not crashing like typical stimulants would crash you, that's interesting and something I'd be interested in looking into.
Dude, it's very interesting, and that's kind of the reason why I want to talk like that. I wanted to like briefly touch on it today, just because of the overall experience I have with it, dude. Like I've tried so many different things that some have worked, some that haven't worked, and that is by far the best I've felt ever. Like it's
Hell
hard to
yeah.
explain, man. It's just how I felt overall. But yeah, caffeine wise, dude, I do 200 milligrams, and the only time I do it is first thing in the morning. I drink super coffee. I don't know if you've heard of their brand at all.
With the
It's got
protein
like
in it.
yeah, pea protein.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where I screwed up the carnivore because I got the pea protein in there. But yeah, it's like that MCT oil, a little bit of monk fruit, just kind of the basics. But I love that stuff, man. I'll start it off. I kind of I guess I don't know if that takes away from fasting, but I that's the only thing I do in the mornings, and I usually try to fast from I would say 7:30 at night until 12 o'clock the next day, and I do that every day except for weekends.
So Monday through Thursday?
Yeah, Monday through Friday, I would say. Saturday, Sunday, I kind of usually Saturday, Sunday. A lot of the times, I'm eating breakfast out. Like to go visit my family at the lake, or whatever it is. My mom's making grits and bacon and eggs and all that in the morning. I'm like, I can't skip that. So
Yeah. Speaking of bacon, eggs, and grits, though, you said when you were growing up, kind of, you're the one that was able to try and cook, and kind of some of that weight was put on you. Did you find that when you were cooking healthier things for the family than she cooks for you now?
now I am. Back then, I wouldn't say that. No,
Yeah.
back then I was probably going with the flow. But dude, my mom, she loved like all the healthy stuff that you would like that a normal kid probably wouldn't like. Like she would eat like tabbouleh from like Greek places, and I'm like, Mom, let me get some of that tabbouleh. Like tomatoes, man. We just throw some tomatoes, throw a little
Yeah.
salt on it. Just like it's like stuff that you wouldn't like. I guess an average kid maybe wouldn't like. I don't know what everybody else's background was in growing up, but to me, I love that stuff. And she was very like I would say kind of old school because I had like the blessing of growing up to where we had a meat, a vegetable, and a carb. Like it was that's how it was mostly every time. It'd be like mashed potatoes, green beans, some type of chicken, or it was a very balanced diet. So that was kind of how it was growing up, and I think I kind of took that to now too. And like my dad was super adamant back then about like he didn't see us throughout the day, so at like 7:30 we were eating, and that was just what it was. And I kind of try to do that with my own family now. Like it's very important. It's like a great time for me to wind down and be with my family now, which is one of my favorite parts of my day because I work 9 or 10 hours. I immediately come in. It makes me feel guilty every day, but I go straight to working out because it's like I gotta clear my head, gotta kind of just to be the best I can be, man. But I'll do that, and then I'll come home, cook dinner, and then after cooking dinner, I take it easy and call it a day. So it's like a repeat Monday through Friday. But I don't know, man. Just the way that's I took all that in back then has instilled into me now about just the life that I want to live, and just I don't know. It's the best part of my day because in like cooking for your family, man. It's hard to beat because you're in control of what your family's eating. So I can make them all healthy stuff. I know what
Mhm.
it makes me feel good when they're eating good. So
Yeah.
it's a very important part of my life. So
Yeah. How much how much protein a day do you think you're roughly getting? I mean, I doubt you're probably tracking macros right now. Maybe you have,
right,
but do you know what your
right.
intake is daily, roughly?
Dude, I would say I got this freaking gnat in here driving me crazy. I would say my intake would be anywhere from 140 grams of protein to about 180. That would be a slight guess for me. But sometimes I don't know, man, because I'll eat a pound of ground beef. Like I'm still kind of doing like I'm still incorporating that carnivore lifestyle mixed in with a little bit more balance.
Yeah.
But I'm still kind of doing it just because I love the way that I've been feeling off of it. So like right now, a normal day for me will be like the pea protein in the morning, which I think that thing is like 10 grams, I want to say. Then I'll do like a pound of grass-fed ground beef for lunch. And I
With
think
something else or just by itself?
sometimes I'll do fruit. Lately I've been doing some white rice. Kind of depends on what exercise I'm hitting that day. If
Hmm.
I'm doing heavy legs, or I want to max out on chest, or do something more compound lifts, I like to kind of throw some heavy carbs in there.
Hmm.
That way I have some more energy and I'm not dead tired because I've definitely noticed how that's affected me, and we can go into that too. I'm sure you experience the same thing. But yeah, so a pound of ground beef, I want to say has like 84 grams or so right there. So I'm sitting at 94 by lunch, and then dinner, I really try to slam it down, man. I'll do like two New York strips or two sirloins, whatever it
Packing
may
it.
be. Yeah, and that's an extra load right there. So
Yeah. No,
and
I
that's
like
just a
that.
guess.
Yeah. Outside of the pea protein and the super coffee, right? You said that's what it is.
Right.
Do you
Mhm.
do any kind of protein supplementation at all? Or do you pretty
I
much just
don't.
eat straight red meat and go that way?
Right. I have not. And dude, I used to do it all the time. And I'm about to start to get back into it, but I haven't really taken supplements like that in forever, man. Like I would say it's been I used to do like the pre-workout, creatine, protein, all that nonstop, but I have not done that in, I would say, 2 years maybe.
Yeah, I think that's actually
Wow.
an interesting thing that you haven't done that and you've been feeling as good as you have. Because I'm curious if you feel maybe the same way that I do about this. That I think a lot of people over focus on the stuff that are just accelerators or things that will help you, but can't be substitutes for the food,
Right.
for the movement, for the progressive overload, for the consistency, for the mobility, for the hydration. Like I love getting my clients on supplementation. Love it because it's
Right.
something that aids and helps them on their process. But when people are like, "Yo, James, I'd rather just get all my protein from this protein powder," I want to throw my phone in the air. Like it's not the end of the world if you do that, but I'd prefer you to get more nutrient dense food in you, start to
Right.
eat more balanced, right? And then add
Right.
supplementation if you need it, or you get stuck. You're like, shit, it's 9 p.m. and I want to get, I'm up for the next 2 hours, but I want to get another 60 grams of protein in. Cool, right?
Right.
Get that in, let it digest, and then let's go to bed, right? Do you find that you're feeling better or worse using just food to get there? Or do you think it's kind of negligible because you were doing a lot of other stuff before?
I feel better.
Okay.
100% feel
Yeah.
better, man. And it could be, there's so many, that's the thing about health, man. There's so many studies and so many people that think one way and think the other. I'll say the best thing that works, in my opinion, is
Mhm.
just balance throughout the whole thing.
What does
Balance
balance
with
mean?
food, balance with food, what you eat, balance with the time that you spend with yourself. Balance. It's just balancing your whole life, man. It's like there's no one trick to doing this. It's all about balance, man. Like spend time doing what you love. Spend time meditating for 5 to 10 minutes. Even if it sounds goofy and like cliche, like that's the type of stuff that really mentally helps you in life. Like I can't even explain like the type of stuff that has done for me. Like the cold showers, man. I do it every single day. I used to like kind of throw it in once a week or something. That's another thing too. Like it progresses because I would do these things like once or twice a week, and now I'm doing them every day. And just like the way that you're practicing the gratitude thing on Instagram, I love that because those start to become habits after a short, like a certain period of time. Everything that you're doing every single day, it doesn't have to be about motivation or like that drive to do it. It just becomes something that you do every single day, and that's what I think balance is, man. Just constantly making time for yourself to become the best you that there is. And that could be spending 30 minutes with yourself every day, just by yourself. It could be getting sunlight in the morning or at the night,
Mhm.
like Huberman talks about, or just, reading a book and putting your phone down, or getting cold and hot, any type of
Mhm.
recovery therapy that you want to do. I think all of that stuff really matters.
Yeah. Um, this is a little bit of a personal question in your journey. I mean, with the aspiration that you have, right? You got a lot of stuff moving, right? You're a dad, right? You're a husband. You're an accountant for 10 hours a day. You move your ass every single day as well, and you're very conscious about what you put in your body, both mentally and physically. With all of that, that's a lot of things to be focused on, right? Do you struggle with perfection when you miss the mark?
100%. I would definitely say that. And that's kind of like missing the mark out. That's exactly kind of where it goes back to when I talked to you about the planning for me, because I've got so much going on that I don't want to feel like it's kind of, maybe it's a form of fear, or whatever it is, of not meeting expectations. That's kind of why I haven't said it. And there's times where I do, but yes, I would 100% say to you that yes, it does. So
Yeah. Because for me, I mean, it seems like you're kind of an all or nothing guy. And I could be missing the mark there, but from the time that I've known you, it seems like you're all in or you're all out, man. And I'm kind of the same way. And at least for me in my journey, sometimes when I get off, dude, it's like a cascading effect. It's a domino that then knocks over all kinds of other stuff. Cause I'm like, well, if I'm already here, might as well just continue to bullshit. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And continue to go down this path that I know I shouldn't. And I preach a different thing to my clients and preach a different thing to my friends. But sometimes, dude, I'm like,
dude,
well, I had one Cheez It, so let's
yeah,
eat the box.
dude, I feel you, man. I really do. And like just the whole thing too with Instagram too, man. It's just like with what you're doing is it holds you so accountable. Like posting every day and all that extra energy, man. I don't think people really understand, and that's why I appreciate. Like here's my gratitude for you, man, because I see what you do every day. I see all the posts, like you're doing exactly what you should be doing because you're posting on your true capacity. You're hitting your podcast. You're going and training your people. You're putting positive light out into the world, and really, you're doing it, man. That's that you're in the grind right now. The things that we're supposed to be thankful for, not like the end goal of what it takes to get, but like what it's taking right now to get there. You're doing it, so I applaud you for that. It's a hard thing to do. I did it for, and I'm not out of it, but I did it consistently for I want to say like 2 years, man. And it's just so wearing on you, like to do something every single day, putting out content, just making sure that everybody sees all the work, but you're really not seeing all the work at the same time. It's hard. So I applaud you for it.
I appreciate that affirmation there. Something that I found on that journey, and I'd love to hear if you've struggled with the same thing, so I know I'm not crazy. In that journey, dude, it could be like extremely disheartening when like you put your whole ass into sharing something that's helped you. And it's not that I give a damn about what everybody thinks. I really could care less about what everybody thinks. But there's sometimes where
Right.
you pour your whole ass into something that's a recommendation that may have just changed your life because you've done it consistently. And then somebody else that's supposed to be, a a colleague or someone that you love shits all
Yeah,
over it, right?
dude.
Drags you, is like you're a try hard. You should be out here partying and hitting this beer bong instead of working out at 4 o'clock in the morning. Hey, isn't it
Right.
just over an extra to be posting gratitude today? Dude, this is day 60. It has
Right.
changed my mind aggressively. And it's been
Right.
60 days, dude. That's it.
Dude, that's impressive. That's 60 days of impressive too. You're doing, I mean, dude, I think recently I tried to do like 21 days of writing three things I'm grateful for. I think I did. It was like a month or something. I did it back in July or so, I want to
In the
say.
morning, like right when you
Dude,
wake
I was
up, like initial, like pop, pop, pop.
like, I did it actually before bed. I did it
Oh,
before bed. I'd read a Bible verse and then hit things I'm grateful for. I kind of try to make it a little routine that I was doing. And man, I was like, it was hitting like day five. I'm like, I already looked like all the important things I'd done. I'm like, good gosh, and you're over here on day 60 just crushing it out, so that's impressive. But back to it, yes, I understand completely what you're saying. When you put all that work in and you kind of just feel like it could even just be simple as likes and views, and which is I mean, you don't want to look at it like it's like that, but I mean, sometimes you do, man. You put all your work into something and you're like, what the hell? It makes you feel like you're taking back steps, but really like you're doing it, man. So like I said, I applaud you for that. Regardless of you know who sees it, what other people say, how other people feel, like you're doing it, they're not doing it. So
yeah.
that
No, it's
they're just trying to take away from you, in my opinion. That's just how I feel about it. So
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. And I think that it's kind of at points been a bigger dagger when it's clients. And like I put my like for example, nothing will rock my conviction more in coaching than when I give a client 100% of everything I have, maybe 200%. Maybe I go out of my way, change my schedule, make myself wholly available for their shitstorm, right? And then they leave or they cancel their card or they ghost me or they don't close. They know
right.
that they have a problem. They know that I can help them solve it. And I've already done everything in my power to get them there. And it's not about the close, dude. It's about helping the person. But I feel honestly, legitimately, sometimes I get off sales consults from ads people that I don't know personally. And I'm like, I just failed them. They didn't sign up. And I might be the last person that they talk to. I might be the
Right.
last person that had a chance to change their life. And I didn't seize the moment. I didn't close them on the 45-minute call. And they might die because of that.
See, well, dude, and I'll put my thoughts on that. I think at the end of the day, you can do everything in your power to help somebody else out, but if they do not want to change themselves, they're not going to change. And that's one thing that's one of the hardest things to accept, especially in this field, because your job is to make people feel the best that they can feel or be the best person they can be to achieve their best, most dominant power, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
That right there is how your job is. But at the end of the day, man, if they don't want it for themselves, you can only do so much. And I've got like people that I have or am really close to about stuff like that. I felt kind of that way my whole life, where I've tried to be that support, be the person that lifts them up and, tries to get them on the right path and do these things. And at the end of the day, you're like, do I need to make a phone call to make sure they're good? Like, am I doing enough? But dude, I'm 28 years old now, man. I got kids, I got a wife, I got my own things that I got to do. At the end of the day, you can only do, I guess, so much that you can do to make the outcome that you want. If they don't want to do it, then that's just the way it rolls, man. That's just how I feel about it personally. But
Yeah. And it's interesting that you say that, because everything that you just said, I know to be fact. And I know that, like, I'm not in control. Like, I don't have the responsibility. But when I pour my whole ass into something, as I'm sure when you do as well, like, dude, you just want people to win. I just want people not to die of diabetes. That shouldn't be happening. It's 2022. We have the information, right?
right.
It's kind of how I feel about a lot of things. Like, so many things that if we just caught a little bit earlier, if we paid a little bit more attention, if maybe someone invested a little bit more in you, maybe if someone wasn't worried about hurting your feelings,
Mm-hmm.
but showed you that they actually loved you, showed you that they cared before they gave you this information, didn't just left field smack you with the ball. But I feel kind of a little bit of guilt with even my family, dude. I'm one of the only ones in my family that looks like this, dude. Straight up.
Yeah, and
Right. We
that's
have a lot of hereditary problems. And I'm like, their lifestyle.
right.
They'll eat sugar all day, every day, drink soda, drink alcohol, smoke
Man.
cigs every day. Like, I can't help you.
Right. Yep. I'm with you, man. And it's just kind of back to it. Like, if you don't want to make a change, you're not gonna make a change. It's just how it is. As bad as you want to help somebody, it could be your closest friend, family member, someone distant that you're really just caring for out of straight love. I mean, that's just how I've seen it, man. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I 100% agree with you, and it's a tough subject for sure.
What I mean, on that path of supporting others and being there for people, I mean, in what ways do you feel called to be there for people on their health and wellness journeys?
Dude, it's that this is where I would like to say what we do, and especially what you're doing right now. This is where the wins come in because maybe you'll post that video and 450 people will see it, two people will like it, you'll get one DM. Them two people that liked it and one DM is exactly why you're doing this. Because, dude, when I was out there putting stuff out there every single day and doing that, I was getting a few DMs every week of like people really saying like, "Thank you so much. I needed to hear this. Like, you don't realize how much this has changed my life." And I'm sitting here like just putting out basic knowledge, and I'm like, this is really helping people
Basic
this
knowledge
much.
for
Like,
you, basic knowledge maybe
right,
for me, for some other
right,
people that like are in it. Yeah.
right, exactly. And so it's been like I would say calling. I don't even know if I've really figured out my calling yet, man. But just being a good person, being kind, loving each other. Just I don't know, man. I used to be trying to be such a hard ass like growing up and or even earlier on in college and all that. All that stuff doesn't matter to me anymore. Like it's all about just being a good person. At the end of the day, God's gonna be the one to judge me. That's just how I feel about it. I'm a big believer in God and I just believe in loving in the way that Christ did and just being that person to people. I want to be a good person. I want to be a good father, a good husband, a good employee, a good owner, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be the best at it that I can be. And I think that is my calling. I just want to make sure that at the end of the day, when I'm done talking to you, that you feel good about talking to me. Like I don't want to leave anything on bad terms. I think life's very short and I don't like stuff like that. Like any argument that I've ever gotten with friends, I don't like anything like that. I like addressing the situation. I'm very like adamant about addressing what's going on, or I'm not good at like just letting it sit in my mind. Then you get deep places and then go down deep holes, and that's just not good for anybody. So
You got to squash the beef and have a conversation. Honestly, have the courage to have the conversation and not be in control of the outcome, maybe, you
yeah,
know?
just the courage of reaching out, man. Just hey, it's been a while, but just want you to know I love you. Hope everything's good. It's just simple things,
Yeah.
dude.
How about the aversion to men saying to other men that they do love as brothers, not willing to say that, not instead willing to reach out and say something, but then the one that's giving a speech at a funeral, like the one that's having
Yeah,
to make the calls for people that we didn't know were suffering because we were all too tied up in our own selves to to let
Yeah,
somebody know that we're there for them.
dude, and that's a tough subject, man. And I've seen from you and your own experiences, I know you've dealt with it as well. I had a very close friend of mine pass away in 2017, someone that I grew up with, doing everything with for my whole life. And I kind of took that as a chance to never something like that happen again. I want to make sure that people understand they're loved. I'm the first person to be like, I'm on the phone with one of my homies. I'm like, I love you, bro. Talk to you later. Do it with my brothers, my family. I do it with anybody. Like, I want people to understand that. It's the littlest things that really do make a mark. And I think people need to understand that, man. It's like, put your pride to the side for 2 seconds. If you care about somebody, let them know. Like, life is very short, dude. And I'm very thankful and grateful for every moment and every opportunity that I come across. I just really am. And I don't think that has really hit me until I started having kids. And some people experience it at different times. But when my babies came into this world, I just started realizing what's very important. I'm like, you just think about everything that you've ever gone through, ever done in your whole life, and you're like, I'm thankful I'm here. Honestly, I'm like, good gosh, all them nights in college and all the stuff that we've done and partied and had a blast, like just anything stupid or any of it,
Yeah.
man. I'm thankful for the opportunity to be here,
Yeah, the stupidity, the brawls, the
dude.
drinking, the
All of it,
experimentation, and all kinds of things. I mean, it's
all
a
of it.
blessing that we sit before one another today,
Exactly, man.
unscathed to a point. Like
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
alive and
Doing
well.
great, doing great, man. Gosh,
Yeah,
man, it's
yeah.
insane.
So one, I want to roll back to your gratitude practice. So you were writing three things down that you were grateful for, and then we're gonna transition to something else. But with those, you said that you were reading a Bible verse. Do you have a specific book that you read out of more specifically, or a book of the Bible that you read more specifically when you're reading just a verse?
I had a book called Bedtime Blessings that my mom got me, and she got me, like, me and my brothers this, I want to say, as like a little stocking gift when I was
Mm-hmm.
in like high school, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like ripped to shreds, the binder of it still not even holding together, but I like bring it back out at short periods of time just to kind of remind myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll do is it's just like a little devotional. It'll kind of read out, it'll break it out into terms that we can understand, and then at the bottom of it, it'll be the verse. So I read it first, kind of like broken out into terms that I can read, and then I read the verse at the
Yeah.
bottom. And I kind of like that because, like, you can understand, like, it makes you understand the hard, complicated words about what it's actually saying. And then I don't know, I like it a lot. But yeah, I would read it. I still try to do it now. I don't have it like written down to do it all the time, but I try to bring it out as much as I can when I remember. And like sometimes I'll miss 5 days in a row, and then that one night that I decide to read it, I catch up 6 days. So
Yeah. Almost like you shouldn't be perfectionist about that either, huh?
right, exactly.
If you're giving breath another day, we've got another day to fight, right? Another day
Yeah.
to be here.
Well, and
Did
that's the thing too, man. Just waking up. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Just waking up and being thankful. That's the first thing I do, man. I'm like, thank you for putting me here another day. I hope that you're in my life today and in my baby's life and my wife's life. And then I do the same thing when I go to sleep. This is my routine.
Yeah, man. I think that there's hope that can be offered to anyone, whether they follow Christianity or they don't. I mean, I think that regardless of what title you assign that power that may be there, if you want to call
Right,
it unicity, you want to call it the universe, like
right,
let's not get lost in semantics.
right.
Either way, right? It should offer some hope that you were given another chance for breath today, that we're on this podcast today, that
Exactly.
hopefully we make it to tomorrow and wake up and rise. And if we do, well, there's a purpose, dude.
Yep,
Regardless of what you believe in, like there's a purpose for you being
yep.
here,
And
right?
I
And I think
100% agree with you.
I think
I
that
do.
that kind of thing for me is, I think, what has led me to not having suicidal ideation or those kind of thoughts, because I'm like, look, if I'm not supposed to be here, I'm gonna be taken, right, by
Right,
whatever power it be. So
right.
like if I'm here, I gotta make it work,
Yeah, make it count, man.
right?
It's
So
everything about it is just making it count.
yeah,
You're
dude,
here for a reason. Just
day in
like
and
you
day
said,
out.
no matter what you believe in, you're here for a reason. We're all here to do something. That's for sure.
Yeah, man. So talk to me about the kiddos, man. Like what is the trajectory of you as a man been from the time that you know
Dude,
obviously you realize, like, oh shoot, we got a baby coming, to now. And I
dude,
mean, yeah,
it
yeah,
is
let's just
like,
start there.
it's insane, dude. I don't even know how to describe it. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. Um, I thought I was a man before I had them,
Mm-hmm.
but they have given me a whole new meaning of what being a father is and being a husband and making sure that whole like old school thing comes back into me, like being a provider. My dad, like both my parents work very hard and still do to this day, but my dad is nonstop, dude. He's still 60. He's 60 years old. He's still nonstop
Running, just going.
running. Can't stop, man. Like
Can't
I'll go
stop,
hang out
won't
with him on
stop,
the
baby.
weekends. I'll go hang out with him on the weekends, and the man's cutting grass. Like whatever he can do, he's doing it. He just has to find something to do, and I kind of feel like that is in me as well. So I kind of do that whole thing too. Like
Yeah.
I, it's just the way that I carry myself. Certain things that I'm doing, the choices that I'm making, I got to think about them first. It's not about me anymore. It's about my family, and just I guess the image that I put out to them because they watch everything you do. They may not be able to talk yet, but they're watching. I like the other day I was cutting up. I went and danced on the table, like just joking around. Some song was on. Me and Allie are always wilding out in the living room or something. I'm like dancing on the table. Next thing I know, I hop down and Heat Rivers. My 2-year-old jumps up there and starts dancing. I'm like, oh gosh, what have I done? Like got to calm it down a little bit. But I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just giving me a new meaning, man. Just to make sure that everything that I do has a purpose to it, whether that's goofing off, having fun with them, just and they've given me that too, man. That's the best part about it is they've taught me to be a kid again. I'm drawing in the dirt with my finger. I'm like running around playing football in the house. We're wrestling on the bed, jumping off the bed, like coloring in the bathtub. It's just like those things, man. It's the best in the world. I can't describe it, but just the way that it makes you be thankful, that it really makes you grateful for the things that you kind of get away from as you get older. And it has brought me back to that. And then you start being thankful and think about all the things that you might have put your parents through, or things that you weren't thinking a big deal at the time, where maybe they were, you could have done them a little bit better. It makes me more thoughtful of what's going on around me and just who I am as a person.
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure that I'm a good leader for them. I want them to understand that at the end of the day, just to love one another and work hard and have fun, be you. That's all it is to me. So
Yeah. I mean, with being thoughtful and being intentional and being a father, roles reverse where you're like, oh shoot, I hated when I bet mom hated when I was a kid and I did that stuff. Have you been intentional about letting your kiddos see you move weight in your gym and exercise and do pull-ups? And have you led by example and put them in the space where they can see you doing that stuff?
So I will say Rivers. So I have Rivers, a 2-year-old, and Riggins, who's 3 months. Riggins hasn't experienced that at all. But Rivers, so I'm actually all right. So at my old house, I had that home gym.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all remember it at all on Instagram or anything, but kind of built this little home gym, and I'd have Rivers out there with me in the little walker. I don't know what all he's taking in at that age. He was under a year old, but he was in a little walker, and I would try to kind of show him that back then. I haven't done that since. I'm actually in the process of building right now. So I've been using my in-laws gym. So it's not as convenient to take him over there and
Mm-hmm.
work out. And it's very hot, man. It's like 100 degrees down there right now. So it's a little bit different. But with that being said, I actually at my new house, I have like this little area kind of off to the garage that I'm gonna build my own little gym in again. And I think it's going to be awesome to have both of my babies out there. I can walk out into the garage and they can like lift with me. And I think that's going to be awesome. I'm definitely going to try to incorporate that into their lives because I think
Yeah.
it's very important just to see and just, and I'm not saying, hey, you've got to work out, but if they want to watch it and see what I do and they like it and that's something they want to do, then that'll be awesome to me.
Yeah, but kiddos are so impressionable. Like if you have access and capability and you can move, like why not give them an opportunity to see what that looks like and the positive benefits of it? And I know you're saying, hey, I don't know what kiddos taking in with being a couple months old. But podcast co-host Savon, right, had a kiddo and he released some info on Instagram about this. So it's not privilege, but um, you know, he was saying that his son, watching everything. Yeah, like going to go in the walker and going to go in the basement, right? In the gym there. And then my other homie, Miguel, his kid had a kid back in January, same thing. dude, he puts him in like a little bouncy thing, like in his
Yeah.
home gym. Right.
Yeah.
And obviously if it's 100 degrees, all right. I mean, that you're a better father to not do that.
Yeah.
But it's, when that is there, dude, I think that could be solid because, dude, kids pick up everything, man. I
Yeah.
still
They
have
do.
mannerisms and I remember a lot of things about mom and dad when I was growing up that I've then seen me operate and interact with other people and not realizing that that's just straight from mom and dad until I'm around mom again. I'm like, oh, that's where that came from.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. 100%, dude. Yeah. And dude, and that's another thing. That's the best thing about having them. I cannot I don't want to race time. Like, I'm not trying to speed anything up. It's already going too fast for me with these babies. But for them, like they're 18 months apart, man. I've got the whole world made for me. I've got two boys 18 months apart. If they're into lifting and sports and all that, man, it's like I'm gonna
Yeah,
have
mini me's
a
running around.
playground. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have a playground, dude. I'm gonna be setting up like obstacle courses and football fields. Whatever I have to do for them just to have the best life ever. I'm gonna do it. So, and I think working out with me and it'll probably inevitably happen because it's something I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. I remember my dad always used to say, he's like, because he used to be really heavy into lifting. He actually did it for a sport for a little bit, kind of near our age. Um, he started to slow down because of having us, and he's like, man, just wait. He's like, you'll be tired and stuff. He's like, you won't want to fool with it anymore. You'll end up just like me, with a beer gut and hanging out, But he's still in really good shape, but still, you get the point. And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, dad, I'm working out forever. Like, I love this stuff. This is me. This is a part of me. I don't just do this anymore. It's like who I am. So I
Plus,
see myself doing it for a long time.
yeah, every generation's got to be better, right? Like pops gave it up when the kiddos came. You got to take the
Right.
torch a little bit
Yeah.
further, and then the kiddos
Right.
got to take it a little bit further from there. We got
Well,
to
good luck to my
progress, not
good luck to
regress.
my babies. They're gonna be
Yeah.
working out when they're 98. I'm gonna be pushing in the casket on that.
Yeah, no, I feel you, dude. So, yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. But sounds like sounds like the kiddos definitely push you to grow up faster and really have to
Yeah.
step into the man that you want to be, not only for them but for your wife. I mean,
Yep.
that's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It really is, man. Just I guess going back to kind of like the old school view and all that and everything. Just I want to be the person that they feel most comfortable with, that they can come to for anything. I'm that support system. No matter what I got going on in my own head and whatever I'm dealing with, like I've got to show up as that person every single day. That's my goal. And sometimes I don't do that. So it's hard. Sometimes
Yeah.
you got your own crap going on and your own feelings or stress at work or stress at home, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, I don't want them to see that side of me. So I got to make sure that no matter what, I'm trying to show up as the best person that I can be because not every day is a great day. Sometimes you got to make it a great day no matter what's going on. So
Yeah, man.
it's definitely helped me mature a lot in that area. Just being a better person and trying not to let like little things discourage or ruin your day because it can easily happen. It goes back to like the mental side of things. You can let something so simple destroy you in 2 seconds and ruin your whole week if you let it. It just depends. Or you could think about it, take a deep breath, maybe breathe in for about 5 seconds, exhale like the old school PE days, and then forget about it. It just depends. It's a work in progress, and I'm loving every bit of it. So
Yeah. No, I mean you can't let the 120, disrupt the other 86,400, 2
right,
minutes over 24
right,
hours. Come on, guys. Let's
yeah.
go. Come on.
It,
Can't be doing
and
all that.
it's hard, man. Like sometimes like criticism at work or you get some bad news or anything it may be. It's just like a work in progress. Just practice on letting it go and realize how short life really is. It doesn't matter at the end of the day, dude. It does not matter. It's so when you start seeing the things that truly matter, all the other noise just gets put to rest, man. And I've kind of gotten off social media a little bit for that reason. I used to spend so much time on it, dude. Now I barely catch myself on it. But the shitty thing about that is nowadays, if you're wanting to grow a business, a self image, whatever, your own brand built on yourself, which a lot of days, I mean, well, now, not now, that is how you build your brand. It's based off of you. You're the one running it. It has to be based off you. That's the hardest part to me about the whole industry and fitness
Mhm.
industry is um, being present on social media every single moment of your day, a lot of it, and knowing how to prioritize it in certain ways on certain days. It's just, it was a hard thing for me because you're putting so much time in there and then you're not present in actually what's going on, or you're taking in too much crap. But there's also great stuff out there. I've been trying to use that for my time when I do hop on there. We've got so much knowledge at our hands right now. And I know you know this as well, just all the people out there and given the different takes on life. Like, I think everybody kind of has their own way of putting things, like the Liver King, for instance. Like, yeah, he's probably roided up and, pushing a false image, but at the same time, I think Liver King's out here, putting off good vibes at the same time because he's like, get your ass up, work, ground, get
Yeah.
outside, get some sun, walk in the woods for 5 miles. Yeah, and like it's a little bit much, for sure. But at the end of the day, he's out here pushing a good image on people, and I think it's hard because a lot of people, slide in immediate hate on people like that, like just it's just straight up hate. Like, they don't even give it a chance. They don't listen to it. But like, you got to see the big picture, man. Yeah, he's probably putting on half a show for everybody because he's trying to get famous. I mean, he's trying to sell his supplements. That's what he's doing. But
But
yeah,
who's
that's it too. I mean, he's doing a good thing.
but who's not trying to garner attention? Like, who's not trying to garner attention that's trying to push forward a mission? I mean, look at
Right.
any religion doing the same thing. Sports teams,
Yeah.
individuals. Um, you know, I don't know. Any pharmaceutical company. Like, look at anyone, dude.
Everybody.
CNN, AOC,
Right.
Donald Trump,
Yeah.
Joe Biden, anyone. Like, literally, everyone is trying to garner attention to push their mission forward. And whether it's, ethical or not, the mission that they subscribe to, everyone's trying to do it, right? That's really trying to be somewhere in the public eye.
Right.
But I would definitely say that if you don't have to be in the public eye, you don't need to be in the public eye. It sure can be nice to be unplugged.
Right.
Sure can be,
Yes.
for sure.
Well, and and I kind of like, I get in these spurts, man, and that's why I give you applaud again for staying so consistent, because I'll go through these like moments where I'm like all about it. I'm like, content, 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 got to get back to my grind. But then for me personally, it started to take away from me actually doing it for my love of the game, of the overall benefits of health and working
Mhm.
out and eating. Like, I was concentrating so much on putting out content that I wasn't truly enjoying it. Like, I just going into the gym and me not having to record a workout, I'm like, damn, like it's peaceful. I
Love
get to be
this.
myself. Yeah. And like last year or 2 years ago, when I'd go in there record everything, I'm like worrying about getting the right views for the camera, or, hitting the right workout. And maybe I'm on set 3, I've already done 2 sets and I'm dead and it doesn't even look right. I'm like, what the hell? Like, putting in all this extra effort, man, when really I started to wanting to get back to just getting off the gram, kind of focusing more on me. And really, I just felt like that's helped me personally become the best that I've been in a very long time, maybe ever. So,
Yeah. No, and I mean that's important. Not everyone needs to be documenting everything or creating everything. And some people that run as heavy as you were in fitness, they have somebody else doing that stuff for them. Somebody else is
right,
filming. So like they're still focused, they're present, but somebody else is documenting.
right. And I,
And then
I need some of that, man.
they're creating from there. So I think that's something to look at too. Like, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, right? If you're going to do it by yourself, especially if you're going to try to run at the consistency that you were running at solo. But you're
Right,
talking about like all day, every day, having to worry about lighting, angles, audio quality, right? Making sure that you give thoughtful things, catchy
right.
things, TikTok videos, right? Catchy
Mhm.
music. Like, just, it's like a lot,
So
dude.
much. It's
It's
so
so
much.
much. It's so much. So, it's not really the life, I think, for everyone. And I also would asterisk that with, it's not everyone's life forever either. I think there's even people like, look at someone like Gary Vee or Alex Hormozy or any, like, they've got teams, dude, of 1 to 20
Big
people
ones.
that
Big.
they're paying from their businesses. And like, cool, that's totally cool.
Mhm.
But they're not the ones that are editing all that when they're running 300 miles an hour for 20 years.
Right.
You can't.
Yeah.
It's
I,
impossible. How would
I
you
agree.
focus on
I
anything
agree.
else? You know?
I highly agree with you because that. you down. You're doing everything yourself, or at least that's how I was doing it. Maybe that wasn't the right path to roll, but I was definitely that person. I'm editing, I'm doing the camera. I've got my tripod set up. It's like it was just so much, man. I had to take a step back, and it's not to say that I'm ever done with it. I think just like I was telling you earlier, this is kind of like a something for life for me. So I don't ever count it out. I just for the past time of my life, I had to cut it out for a little bit for sure. So
Yeah, we got bigger priorities, dude. Kiddos running around,
yeah,
two
yeah,
sons running around, a
yep,
wife that needs some loving. Like that's
yep.
a higher priority than posting on social. You know what I mean?
110%
Especially
every day.
when your money doesn't come from posting on social. Like if you're
That
not being a provider with that, then cool, know the place. It's all good. It's a priority, but not the priority. I think that's
that's
fair.
that's a hard part. That's another hard part about it that a lot of people don't understand is everything you're doing is for free for a little bit. You're pushing that out just straight solely off trying to get attention and trying to hope that it helps somebody in some way, and maybe it'll benefit you in some way as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So
But no, I think it's interesting to kind of see the peaks and valleys of the journey. Cause I remember even before I got into coaching heavy, dude, I was hitting you up about meal prepping, dude. About me picking
yeah,
up meal prep food. Like
yeah, man,
how did that come about? And do you still
dude,
do any of that kind of stuff?
dude. So that man, that was a crazy time. Um, so like I've cooked on and posted on Instagram since I've made that account. I think it was like 2018. Always been something I've loved is just cooking healthy, good tasting meals. Some, I mean, not like crazy healthy. Some of them were out there and some of them were better than others, but
Whatever.
right. So I was doing it for a little bit, and Allie, my wife, she told me one time, she's like, "There's so many people that are always asking me, like, are you selling these meals or this and that?" And so I currently live where she grew up, right? We're like in her hometown, and she's like, "Maybe we should just try selling it." I'm like, "I don't know, Allie. Like, I didn't have that much confidence in it." I'm like, "Is my meals are good to me, and they look great, but you're not a huge fan of them, like she doesn't always like what I cook and stuff
Yeah.
like that." She's like, "But I think people will love it." I'm like, "All right, well, let's roll, see what we get." And I remember the first time doing it, I think I made like some pineapple shrimp, white rice, some asparagus, I want to say. And man, it was so stressful that very first time, but like I think we had like 18 orders, I'm like, okay, I was surprised. I was
Yeah.
like, that's a lot of people for a first time we put it out. Like, I mean, my marketing was throw it on my Instagram story. She'd do a Facebook post. I mean, that's all it was. And then the next thing you know, 1 week goes by, 22 orders. Third week goes by, 28. And then 2 months after, I'm at 80 something meals. I'm like, holy shit, I might be in over my head. I'm like, I'm
80
over here.
something meals.
Dude,
Shit,
I'm
dude.
cooking 10 hours a day. I'm like in there whipping, man. Like, and I didn't have the equipment for it. I mean, I wasn't like, I didn't open a full-time business doing it. I'm just hustling on the side, like using my hours outside of work to do the best I could.
Sheesh.
Yeah,
Just cooking
hustling.
in a regular like residential kitchen. Like not
Yeah,
a commercial
yeah.
kitchen with
At
multiple
my
ovens and
house. Yeah, I've got like one pot. I'm like going off basic equipment, man. Like it was tough. But I was man, it was getting good for a long period of time. And then like I told you, I ended up moving and we're in the process of building. I have talked with her about maybe opening that back up once we get into our new house because we'll have new kitchen, new equipment. We'll be kind of in a better area to do it. And maybe turn it into an actual business. But it was doing so well on the side hustle. Not to say that I wouldn't ever open it, but it was crushing on the side. So, and not something maybe that I want to do full time. I think once you jump into that, it's just like anything else you do. I think when you jump into creating a business, you can't half-ass. You got to roll.
I
And
mean
I
you'll
don't know.
get crushed, dude. You won't make it out
Right,
of 2 years if it's full time unless you
right,
go.
right. And that maybe I just wasn't 100% sure if that's the mood that I wanted to make, if I wanted to jump into doing that full time. Not to say that I won't ever. I'm not opposed. It's still
We're
on the
young.
right. Yeah,
Not
28.
30 yet, dude.
Yeah,
We're not even
yeah.
30. We're all
You're
good,
the,
dude.
if you're under 30, you are so young. No, I'm just kidding. If you're under like 55, you're doing great, man. I'm all about Gary Vee. I'm sure y'all have
Yeah.
seen
He's like, "You're
my
70? You got 20 years?"
yeah. 88. You're 88. You're crushing. Like you
Yeah.
got 10 years ago. So but I believe in that too, man. I don't think there's ever I think as long as you're here, you can do whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter what age you are. crush.
Absolutely, dude.
Do what you want to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think and I really appreciate, a point of appreciation for you. Dude, you're not dogmatic, man. You don't follow an ideology like so aggressively, and anyone that doesn't subscribe to it needs to go away. Like you're like, hey, keto might work for some people, you know, carnivore
Yeah.
might work for others, vegan might work for others, right? Christianity might be the something that somebody wants to follow. Maybe someone else wants to be Buddhist. Maybe someone wants to say that religion doesn't exist. Like it's interesting to me for someone that has so much faith in what they do and has so much purpose in how they live to also then not be judgmental. And I just wanted to make a point to let you know that that is something that I appreciate about you, because very few people these days are like that. Very few people can have rhetoric and have actual deep seated beliefs in things and not throw shade and judgment and nonsense, man. So I
I mean,
appreciate that about you.
I appreciate you saying that, dude. And that, I mean, it means a lot to me that you would even consider saying that. It's just in my heart, dude. It's like how I really feel. I don't feel negative any other way, but like, I always want to like, you can't just dive into what someone says or how they feel based off of that moment. That does not happen. Think about you in your shittiest moment. And then if you were to say something on the gram and you're like, someone sees that, you can't just make a judgment off that. Someone could be having their worst day. Somebody could be having their best day. Somebody could be having shit go on their whole life, how they were brought up, raised, taught, belief system. It could have been something could have messed them up. Something could have been, it could have just been how they were taught or what they believe. I don't have any, I'm very open-minded to stuff like that because, you know, it's all to me a lot of it is how you're raised, whether you follow that same path that you were raised in or you grow apart from it to do your own. I think a lot of it is how you're raised,
Yeah.
just personally. And I don't know, man, I'm not big on throwing shade, or I just want to see, I like to see, where people come from, what they got, man. It's I don't know, I don't like judging people, man. I appreciate you acknowledging that. So
Yeah, I think it's really cool to see the background that people have. The things that are maybe above and below the line of what we deem okay, like hey, what things have been aggressive in our lives that have taught us a lot of things, and what things have been smooth sailing. I mean, everyone's got a different story to tell, and I think that we could definitely use more people like you that are out here not judging, that want to understand, that are listening to understand, not listening to respond. I think there's a big difference. You know what I mean?
yeah, 100%, dude. And just not, and not just the judgment part, but just, man, acting in love. Like, we're all equal out here. I don't give a shit if you've got $85 million and I've got zero. I still view you as the same person as I am. And like the other day, man, me and I were out in Snellville, and some dude was, his car was broken down like the middle of the highway. I'm like sitting here watching this dude. I'm like, does he need help? I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, I kind of feel like he might need help. Some dude made the initiative run across to do it because I was at a stoplight about to roll. And finally, I just hopped out. He's like, go help him. So I'm like, all right, let's go. So I kind of go help him. Me and this other dude start pushing. Then another dude starts pushing, and we all get him out of the highway into the parking spot. And just after I did it, like the dude didn't even say thank you or anything. He just kind of got to the spot, wasn't very appreciative of it. But the guy next to me that was pushing, I bonded with. I feel like I knew this dude for 30 years, man. He's like, if only people could see like this right now and act like this, I think the world would be a better place. And it just made me think, like, I felt like that day, like it was just meant to be, man. Just to hop out of the car and go help this dude, like just to act in a way that you would want to be helped. Like if you're out there by yourself and you need help, man, it's just, that's what life's about. Like go help somebody out. If they need help, help them out. Like throw that lending hand. Everybody out here is the same person. We've all got our own shit going on. Some people may be having a great day. Some people may be having a terrible day. You just don't ever know. So the best thing to do is just be the best person that you can be. And I think that at the end of the day, it's going to come back around. Not doing it so that it comes back around, not waiting for it to come back around, but it will. It really will. So that's just my way of thinking.
Yeah, man. Love first. Love
For
first.
sure.
I think that it's an interesting place to be in, especially being masculine and being more divine masculine, right? Like, oh, love. Like that's such
Right.
a thrown around word, but I think that we could all use a little bit more of it because I mean, we don't need to fall on hate on racial lines, on gender lines, on political lines, I mean, who your grandmama voted for, or where you live in the United States, or what country
Right.
you're from. Like, dude, I think that we could definitely use some more love. So I appreciate you sharing that. And dude, I have very much enjoyed this. I hope you have
Yeah,
too.
dude, it's been
Um,
great.
is there anything that you'd like to leave everybody with, um, as kind of a parting way here? And then I want to hear where they can find your fitness account and follow along with you if they want to.
Yeah, man. So I just want to say I appreciate you having me on here. I haven't talked to you in a long time. I know we've kind of chatted over Instagram, but being face to face and being able to share this moment, I appreciate it, dude. And I appreciate you having me on here and giving me the time. I would just leave it at this and just kind of the whole scenario of what we just talked about is just being yourself, be authentic, always show up as yourself. Don't show up as someone else. Just be you, love one another, be kind, work hard. You know, if you want to live the life that you want to live, the only person that's going to be able to get it is yourself. You can go to anybody else that you want for it, but it's got to be deep down inside of you to find that. And that's just kind of my main thought on that. And my Instagram is Cam Tudor Fitness on IG. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I'll have to double check, but it's been a little bit since I've had my handle sent out, but I'm pretty sure that's it. But I just appreciate everything, man. I'm thankful for it.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you being here. And we will wrap there. And guys, if you're looking for his IG, it's going to be linked. I'll just link it in the show notes. And if we're on YouTube, there'll be the link that you can click to it. But dude, I really appreciate you being here. I think this is a hell of a conversation and kind of took some turns that I wasn't expecting. And I'm
All
very
right.
appreciative for the time, man. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hop off here. I'm gonna stop the recording and then we'll go from there.